Ay, ito. Joke lang. Amik ko pa. Oh, the tank. Teka lang. Pagkain. Putok na.
Ugat ba yan?
Real life shit. Oo. Real life. Nilaga.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.
Doink!
Yo, 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 yo. Nangyari.
Oh my god. That's goodbye. Nothing else inquiry.
Tatrap kasi kayo sa loob. Namatay kaya siya pag tinakpan mo yun. Namatay kaya siya sa loob.
Apa?
Tinakpan mo. Di ba nandun siya sa ilalim ng hagdan mo?
Ay, oo nga, no?
Niyaya mo lang. Planning yan.
Yun lang yan. Hihiba yung bahay ko pag tinanggal. Ay, hindi. May daanan. Hindi ko matakpan yung daan, yung butas na yun eh.
Hmm.
May daanan naman.
Sabi mo, sobrang tagal nyo naglaro, naging fossil na siya. Tabunan.
Ko na yun.
Oo,
Sabi
tabunan
ko
na
na
ng
tabunan siya ng new civilization.
Oo, sobrang tagal niya hindi naglalaro.
May daan naman. Punta pala din sa ilalim ng bahay ko eh. Kaso sikip.
Ano? Bahay mo?
Six strong, super strong.
Anong maganda sa bahay mo?
Sa ilalim.
Ah.
Yung pinag-aanoan ni Kenneth.
Kanyang pinaghihimayan.
Kaya ko na siya dito.
Hindi ko, nalagyan ko na siya ng graveyard. Sobrang tagal. Hindi na naglalaro.
Makakalabas pa rin. Kaya ko siya dito sa dulo. Sa dulo ng... Kita mo ba to?
Wala ko dyan. Sa ano?
Ah,
Bulkan ako, nalagyan ko. Nalaro ko ng sabi ng mga ano ko dito ngayon.
first things first, I'm saying all the wishes I can. Venus. Daming food ng kanyang dinosaur. Yan na lumulutang yung base ko. Hey, what's up, Lightning Guard? Ba't hindi ako makainom?
Saan?
Wala ba yung ano ko? Hindi naman ah. Hindi ko pinom. Mm.
If you would know this.
Remind, I don't know. Ang laki, parang kay daddy. Ewan ko, tanong mo kay daddy. I do the wrong move.
Boy. Boy.
Ano?
Another light na yung Mac ko yun.
Meron?
Siyempre, auto-tame. Auto-tame yan. Sakit lang eh. Hindi pa nakakalapit sa akin, wala na. Kaya ba itong Alpha Raptor? Level na ba yung Alpha Raptor? 13, kaya ka ba to?
Oo.
Siguro. Ewan. Pero ba dala mo?
America.
Sino?
America.
Sige, contest. Ah! Great building. Ako, hindi nakapilibig. Today, it's all about you get blasted, you're dead. Go back to bed. Overgrown sausage.
At naman ito yung aim.
Ha?
Ang hirap yung aim. Ito, napatay ko. Alparaptor.
Nice.
Makapatay ko ng Alparaptor. Galing siya talaga. Hindi, ang hirap to. Sabi mo kasi, kailangan dinarage.
Na? Hindi, parang hindi ka lang madamage.
Ako mismo?
Oo. Hindi, Bert. Kasi pwede siyang patayin nang hindi ka nag-damage.
Hmm.
Lima na lang pala sila dito. Inuwi ko pala si Dora. Pwede silang patayin nang hindi ka nag-damage.
Yan, hindi na ma-reach.
Leroy! Wow, kayo, bilis. Bigyan ko yun ng pagkain. Bilis.
Another lightning McQueen.
Ano lang yan, ganda ng Littlefoot doon sa aking tok-tok. Yung nakita ko sa malayo.
bitch. Mhm. Ano ba si Kevin? Wala, nalaglag si Kevin. Ay, hindi. Oh, ano na yata silang lahat. Backpack na lang yung hindi. Lower.
Wabba! Miners, let's go. Go around Sarah. Get your food rations.
Tom, listen to me. He is the contractor.
Up,
Who lose this job? You understand?
Sarah. Give them the berries. Okay, sir. I can't. It's so laggy.
Are you tired of this happening while taming a Utayrannus? My name's Techwarsa, and today I'll show you how to tame a Utayrannus, and if you stick around I'll tell you a couple of neat things about tamed Utayrannus.
Yellow.
First off, let's prepare. The food you're gonna need in order from most effective to least effective. Extraordinary kibble, raw mutton, raw prime meat, raw prime fish meat, cooked lamb chop, cooked prime meat. I recommend using extraordinary egg kibble or raw prime meat. It
Oh
wouldn't
my
hurt to have some
God.
cooked prime meat just in case.
It's not enough.
You'll need around 75 narcotics
There you
per
go.
hour during the tame. At a default taming rate, a level 50 can take between 1.5 and 3 hours. A level 100 can take between 2.5 and 5 hours. A level 150 between 3.5 and 6 3/4 hours. These times are the difference between raw prime meat and cooked prime meat. Kibble cuts the raw prime meat taming times down by about a third. You'll also want a more abundant food source for the Utayrannus to consume when it wakes up. The recipe for extraordinary kibble is 1 special egg, 10 mejoberries, 1 giant bee honey, 1 Lazarus chowder, 5 need to be aware of when you're infected by it, sprint away randomly from the Utayrannus. Use whichever combination of techniques you would like to use to knock the Utayrannus out. Once it's out, use some precautions to make sure it doesn't take accidental damage. Put your food of choice and narcotics in its inventory and make sure to maintain its torpor so it doesn't wake up until it's tamed. If this video is helpful, make sure you like and share it. Your support really helps out the channel. Now for the neat facts that I promised earlier. The Utayrannus saddle can be learned at level 80 and can be made in a smithy with high
What's all?
fiber, metal ingots, and silica pearls. The Utayrannus
Oh,
can buff
pinaknada.
nearby friendly creatures with courage with their crouch attack. The courage buff gives an outgoing damage boost of 25% and an incoming damage reduction of 20%. The courage roar can be used on wild Carnos to have them fight alongside you for a while.
No, we're all high.
Their incoming damage by up to 50% and decreasing their outgoing damage by up to 50%. This sphere
There
does
we
not
go.
work on most Apex Predators,
Turn this
Alpha
way.
Predators, bosses, boss minions, and some
Oh my
other...
god, your turn rages.
Yes.
That's still enough. Oh god,
По-моему, сразу вот пойти на
ito si Hamtaro. Taro.
Сверху сміть Broadway, 2020 Swerve smith Broadway, 2021 to 10 and kill the camera.
Oh god, nalaglag yung ano ko.
Ignite
Rot
the
to.
escape. One random 51% movement speed. Gone and put in your mode. Put in saddle and go. You mount his big screaming crash. Anyways, keep watching on front. We'll see you next time.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Soloing the Ark. I'm
Wow.
Gotcha. 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 Oh, crap. Can't miss one. Running? Oh, no way is this thing running. No way, no way, no. Gotcha.
Walang kwenta to si Donald.
Bakit?
Walang weight, walang ya. Hindi mo lang mabuhat.
Gotcha.
Kumamasak yan.
Stupid bugs.
Level up mo.
Yeah.
Let's get this put down. More bugs around here.
Hindi ko mapindot yung ano ko, half bar. Lalag ba ako? Bug yata ako eh.
Yan.
Сразу вот пойти на active.
Hindi ko mapindot yung half bar ko eh.
Yung pindot.
Oo.
Ang disconnect ka.
Dito nga. Hindi ko mapindot. Candy money. M-I-C-K-E-Y M-O-U-S-E. Put them weight, dog. Basta weight ko, ah. Ng aking miner squad. Feeling ko kaya nilang pumatay ng T-Rex.
Sila?
Yung miner squad ko.
Try mo.
Okay. Hindi naman sila mamamatay. Yung char. We need more charcoal.
If you're able to have trimates to help you, it gets easier. If they're available, use a griffin with a partner in the passenger seat. Both players riding the griffin can use weapons while mounted. If griffins aren't available, Quetzals are a good alternative. Just make sure the creature is leveled in health and stamina.
No, hindi nga naapektuhan yung Quetzal.
You need to be aware of when you're in range of the Fear Roar.
Ay!
There are very few creatures that can
Bumagsak yung
resist the
buong
roar,
bubong ko.
and those randomly from the Eutyrannus. Use whichever combination of techniques you would like to use to knock the Eutyrannus out. Once it's out, use some precautions to make sure it doesn't take accidental damage. Put your food of choice and narcotics in its inventory and make sure to maintain its torpor so it doesn't wake up until it's tamed. If this video is helpful, make sure you like and share it. Your support really helps out the channel. Now for the neat facts that I promised earlier. The Eutyrannus saddle can be learned at level 80 and can be made in a smithy with hide, fiber, metal ingots, and silica pearls. The Eutyrannus can buff nearby friendly creatures with courage with their crouch attack. The courage buff gives an outgoing damage boost of 25% and an incoming damage reduction of 20%. The courage roar can be used on mob Carnos to have them fight alongside you for a while.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Bumagsak din yun.
Just like in the first episode of the show, where we were warned about how dangerous a potential outbreak of the cordyceps infection could be in 1968, in episode 2 of the show we saw a professor taking a look and seeing the infection for the first time from a human. Another haunting, harrowing scene that set the tone for an eerie environment. This scene in Indonesia was extremely important as it was on the cusp of the outbreak, and by then, it was already too late to stop it. So let's break down and explain what this scene meant, the origin of the virus, and why it couldn't be stopped. So let's get into it. Here is why the opening scene in Jakarta in The Last of Us Episode 2 is important. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The first thing that we saw in the beginning of the second episode was set on the 24th of September 2003 in Jakarta, Indonesia. This was 2 days prior to what we saw unfolding with Joel and Sarah on the 26th of September in the United States. We were introduced to Professor Ibu Ragnar, who is a professor of mycology, which is the study of fungi. This showed us from the off that something wasn't right, and it was most likely going to be connected to the outbreak that we saw taking place 2 days later, especially due to the fact that she was taken away from her lunch by the military. We saw that the professor examined a sample of the cordyceps infection, where it was revealed to us that it was taken from a human, something that up until then it was known to be impossible to do, as it didn't live or thrive within a human host. This was due to the temperature of the planet, at least that's what we were told in 1968. However, due to the temperature of the planet increasing over the 35 years since, it seemed as though a human could now be a good host for it. After examining the person who was infected, we saw how the fungi lived on long after the human host was dead, as it continued to function on its own. It just had no brain to take over. Once they were out of the examination room, we saw the origin of the virus be explained and how it spread so quickly throughout the world. We found out that the cordyceps infection occurred in a flour and grain factory on the west side of Jakarta. It was also noted that it was the perfect substrate, meaning the perfect place and conditions where the organisms were able to live, grow, and get its nourishment in order to thrive. This explained how it spread throughout the world in only a few days, because the flour and grains would have most likely been shipped all around the world, and then once consumed by an individual, it was then present on that land, meaning there was no escape. With the rapid rate in which it can spread after being bitten as well, it showed that there was no stopping this, just like what we heard of in Indonesia within the factory. Hence why when we saw the professor mention that there was no medicine or vaccine, the only plausible option that she felt that there was to destroy the city, to kill anybody that would most likely be infected in the area, and prevent the widespread devastation around the globe. However, that chance was already gone. It showed how little time 30 hours actually was in the grand scheme of things. So in this scene, we saw the origin of the cordyceps infection and how it ended up in the States 2 days later in 2003. But was this different to what we saw in the game? Well, it was ever so slightly. Within The Last of Us the game, the infection began taking a hold of humans through infected crops, just like what we saw was shown to us in the second episode. However, within the story within the game, they were able to identify some of the products that may have been contaminated and potentially caused devastation to humans, and they pulled them out of the stores. However, that was also too late. The main difference came at the location of the origin of the infection. Within episode 2, it showed that it came from Jakarta, Indonesia, which lies in Asia, whereas in the game, the infection originated in South America. The small but effective change was something that actually made a lot of sense, as the real cordyceps infection that's known to impact insects and kill its host can often be found throughout Asia, rather than in South America, so it was a logical change. This opening scene really did show us the speed in which the cordyceps infection can spread across the globe. It reiterated that there was no way out and that the future was bleak due to the fact that, as Ibu stated, she'd been studying it for many years and never found a way to create a medicine or vaccine. But with that, it also reiterated the importance of Ellie, and how in a world where there was no cure or prevention, even 20 years later, she's the one piece of hope for the future of civilization. It was a powerful, haunting, harrowing scene that made you realize how damaging it actually was, whilst shedding a light on how it all started. So, there you have it, why the opening scene in Jakarta in The Last of Us Episode 2 is so important. If you want to see more videos such as Endings Explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the
Winnie, I need you.
Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of the opening? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.
Winnie, my guy. You are my fire. Right.
After watching the latest episode of The Last of Us, there's truly only one man capable of capturing my emotions. To me, the situation is a blood-soaked, nightmarish hellscape. I'm not interested in caring about people.
There's a sign at Ramsett Park that says do not drink the sprinkler water, so I made some tea with it and now I have an infection.
Yes, I can't believe they got Ron Swanson to play Bill in this absolutely heart-wrenching episode, which had me questioning, am I gay? In this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into episode 3, its connection to the game, more Easter eggs, and a whole lot more. And with that, let's get into it, but before you do, be sure to like and subscribe. I may not always cover the shows you watch, but when I do,
It's fantastic.
we open 10 miles west of Boston, likely a day after Tess had one of the creepiest makeout sessions. She sacrificed herself so that Joel and Ellie could escape the infected at the Capitol building. It's only been about 2 days since Joel fractured his hand while turning this Fedra agent's face into a pile of goo. He dips his hand in the water to retrieve stones, which he piles on top of one another to create this cairn. Cairns, or stone stacking, has held multiple meanings throughout history, commonly used as trail markers or burial mounds, and here I think it's the latter. Tess was Joel's rock. She grounded him, and this small act is a way of remembering her. This shot here is one of my favorites in the episode as it displays 3 symbols of Joel's past trauma. 1, the bloody hand, the killing of the Fedra agent. 2, the cairn, Tess's death. And 3, Sarah's watch, a constant reminder of his daughter's death. This is all interspersed with the director's decision to frame Joel in these forest POV shots, suggesting that even during these tranquil moments, someone could always be watching. It seems Joel and Ellie have spent the night in the woods. Joel even gave Ellie his jacket for warmth. In the game, Ellie says she's never even walked through the woods before.
You mean the woods?
Yeah. Never walked in the woods. It's kind of cool.
But the big elephant in the forest is Tess's death. If you remember last episode, he simply left Ellie and walked away after she died. He didn't say a word. Joel has learned to bottle his emotions. This is why he doesn't want to talk to Ellie about his past, just like he skirted her questions in episode 2, nor why he doesn't bring up Tess's death. The same is true in the game.
Here's how this thing's gonna play out. You don't bring up Tess. Ever. In fact, we just keep our histories to ourselves.
This is almost identical to the 3 rules Joel gives Ellie near the end of the episode.
Rule 1, you don't bring up Tess. Ever. Matter of fact, we can just keep our histories to ourselves.
Rule 2, don't tell anyone about your condition. And Rule 3, do what he says when he says it.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Fun fact, in the game version, this conversation happens before they reach Bill, while in the show, it happens right after they leave his place. But Ellie isn't going to take this shit from Joel, saying,
So don't blame me for something that isn't my fault.
it was Joel's choice to take on this mission. He and Tess knew the risks. At the end of episode 2, Tess tasked Joel to take Ellie to Bill and Frank's in the hopes they'll take her in. In the game version, she tells him to take her to Tommy. Bill and Frank were the BNF markings on Joel's smuggler code, which Ellie easily deciphered in episode 1. Later in the episode, we'll actually see that it was Frank who suggested to Tess that they use codes over the radio. Ellie asks if Bill and Frank are nice, to which Joel says,
Frank is.
as we'll soon meet Bill, we'll know exactly why Joel answered this way. Ellie also takes notice of Joel's gun. In episode 2, she wanted one, but was relegated to only throwing chicken sandwiches.
Can I have a gun?
Absolutely not.
Okay, Jesus, fine. I just want to finish.
In the game, she wants a gun too.
What? I need a gun.
No, you don't.
It's even hinted at in the show that this smaller gun here might have once belonged to Bill. As we'll later find out, Frank sold one of Bill's smaller guns to Tess and Joel in exchange for strawberry seeds. At Cumberland Farms, an abandoned gas station where Joel left a stash of supplies several years prior, Ellie finds an old arcade version of Mortal Kombat 2, stating she had a friend who knew everything about it. This is a reference to Riley, who was briefly mentioned in episode 1 by Marlene.
Terrorist? Was Riley a terrorist?
We haven't yet seen her in the show, but in the season ahead trailer we get a brief glimpse of her on this carousel, a nod to the events of The Last of Us DLC titled Left Behind. In the game, they stumble across an arcade, and it's not Mortal Kombat 2, but a game called The Turning. It also makes an appearance at the Pizza and Sub restaurant in Lincoln in The Last of Us Part 1.
I had a friend that knew everything about this game.
Unfortunately, no cool Melina kills.
Bonus points if you caught the lifesaver stand in the background, a fun metaphor for Joel and Ellie being each other's lifesaver. And extra points if you caught the safe code on the wall. In the game, safe codes are littered all over the place, which lead to valuable safes. While Joel tries to find the supplies he stashed years ago, Ellie has the insanely smart idea to venture into the creepy hidden basement. And I'm not sure what's scarier for the men out there in this scene, the crushed infected or a box of Tampax Pearl. I also love the inclusion of lockers in the background of this set. You know I'd be there checking all these for extra supplies. Ellie is surprisingly curious around this infected, even using her switchblade, the one passed down to her by her mother, to cut into its skin. The layers underneath are reminiscent of those conducted on the woman in Jakarta 20 years ago. The tissue definitely doesn't look normal. She stabs the infected, killing it, and doesn't even tell Joel. Back up top, and to her surprise, Joel leaves his rifle, claiming that carrying it with so little ammo essentially makes it useless. As they continue their journey, they come across a downed plane. In episode 1, we saw just how dangerous it could be flying as soon as the infection spread, and I thought flying Delta was bad. Ellie thinks it's so cool that Joel once flew in one of these things, and it really puts into perspective all the things we take for granted, even things as simple as a hot shower or strawberries. For her entire life, Ellie has grown up in a Fedra orphanage, thus her education conveniently left out how the government failed to prevent the pandemic in the first place. This is the writers taking a jab at our own government's failure to respond to COVID-19, with Ellie even asking if the virus started by a monkey, much like the theory out there that COVID started with infected bats. The most common theory is that this fungal infection spread via tainted flour, which quickly spread
Ribut kau. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh my.
Nangyari ko eh.
Nabali ako ng pagka-failed. Wasak tuloy. Buho eh. Tell me why.
Are you kidding me? May T-Rex na naman.
T-Rex! Triangle ceiling.
Ay, ito yung T-Rex na na-failed kong ano. Failed kong itim.
T-Rex?
Tempo ba itong T-Rex na ito?
Coconut.
Natamal ako. Nawala na yung hype ko sa T-Rex. Nako, char. Char boy. Dami ko na masyadong T-Rex.
Oh shit. Tama. Oh no. Let's find out. Oh. Alam ko, tapusan ko na yun. Magigiba kaya itong lahat? Let's find out. Oh my god, di. My body's ridiculous. Just see us in the fall. Nakalagay si Littlefoot. Hindi na siya perfectly fit. Walang yan naman itong triangle ano? Triangle talaga. Di man lang yung kalahati ng box. Đâu lòng bao. Lawang wall.
Yo nangyari.
Break mo. Ako break. Ako ka. Peggy, let's find your husband. Steve, Jane. Ikaw na lang.
pa rin ba Char-Char? Rare spawn ata yun. Hindi ba sa basta nag-i-spawn? Hey, yan mo na ba? Ginawan mo ng saddle yun?
Yung alin?
Yung Char-Char?
Hindi pa.
Labas mo na. Kita natin yung glory.
Mahal eh.
Mahal yung saddle?
Oo.
Makita na sa stream yung kanyang full glory. Control.
At tayong iron. Iron.
Alam mo may pa. Right,
Ng Ironis.
Another T-Rex. Another green T-Rex. Guess what I need?
Kasi nilagay yung isang artifact. Ito. Ay, hindi. Sino nakaraan nating artifact? Uh-oh. Mawawala yung artifact natin, boy.
Hindi ko sa test ng akin ah.
Hindi yun yung una.
Oh my god.
Kalimutan ko sa kung nailagay. Uh-oh.
Maraming buhay ng sacrifice doon. Maraming buhay ng sacrifice yung boy.
Kay Kenneth nandito eh.
Wala
Wala na din. May expiry date pa yon.
Hindi ko sure. Check mo.
Wala na din yung kay Kenneth eh. Parang may expiry date.
Maraming buhay na ng sacrifice doon pa.
Sino ba namatay doon?
Mga characters ko, tsaka si...
Ah. Isok boss.
Oo, Sophos. Kalimutan mo na ba? Yung massacre, the cave massacre? Talang ya. Sobrang pag-ikot ko, napunta na ulit ako sa base. Sabi ko, uy, ang daming T-Rex. Walang ya, akin pala yun. Tumulat ako, oh my god, daming T-Rex. Base na pala to. Wala, another failed expedition, no Char-Char.
Oh shit. Bakit nawala ng puno dito sa ano? Sa swamp?
Yung nasa kerto. Di ba kasi may XP yan? Pagkatanggal ng puno.
Oo.
Bakit? Need mo ba yung mga puno dyan?
Hindi. Bigla na na-clear eh. Pero hindi ko lang kung bakit. Ngayon sino pinalevel up mo?
Si Leona. Yan nang pumapatay kasi ako ng ano. Lin. Tapos sabi ko pa-level up punta ng todo. Teka. Tingin kita ng Megatherium.
Megatherium.
Gusto mo ng Megatherium?
Okay lang.
Wala bang terror bird dito, nakakainis yung terror bird eh. Puti yung akin, di ba? Kuha na kita ng black.
Oh god, napagod ako.
Kuha na kita ng black. Kaya naman tayo sa hit and run.
Great Eagles.
Bilis kasi niya eh.
Hindi ko talaga mahanap si Steve Rogers.
Ano ba yan boy? Paano natin Operation Uterranus? Bilis
Kailangan ko
naman niya.
mag-restart. Kailangan ko mag-restart.
Bakit? Yan sa kanya, bakit may kulay red siya? May buff na siya?
Ano?
Ay na ba ako sinusunod ng Megatherium? Sinusunod ako until the ends of the world.
Hindi ko maano kasi, hindi ko makontrol yung ano ko eh. Ano ba nangyari? Yung aking hotbar nga.
Nag-reach na kaya ako dito sa ngayon. Ako tumalim sa akin. Ayos, hindi ako ma-reach dito. Oh my god, nahulog ako! No! Help! 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 Tapusan ko na! Nasave ako. Grabe, lakas ang damage siya. Nahulog kasi ako sa puno eh. Doon sa ano, alam mo yung broken branch?
Ano yun?
Yung broken branch dito sa Redwoods.
Oo, ano
Hindi siya
meron?
makakit, tapos pag baba ako, nahulog ako.
Nahulog ka saan?
Sa branch.
Trap ka?
Oo. Hindi nga, walang ano eh. Tapos pa naman ang damage niya. Hindi ko kahit nang kikin.
Ayaw ba mag-restart ng server?
Ayan?
Oo.
Pwede naman.
Trap ako eh.
Balik na ako. Play na ako na itong
Hindi ka ako mag-restart. Kaso pag ako nag-restart, di kasi ako makakonect. Tignan ko.
Restart naman server?
Hindi.
Nasa safe place na ako.
Ha?
Nasa safe place na ako.
Pag wala nag-restart, tignan ko kung gagana.
Hirap itin boy, ikaw na lang mag-tin ng Megatherium. Hirap eh. Mabilis siya, hindi ko ma-outrun.
Okay.
Tapos hindi ko rin ma-hit and run kasi ang bilis niya talaga. Nakaka-catch up na sa Banshee ko. Yung T-Rex, kaya ko i-outrun, di ba mabagal lang? So, bababa lang ako. Tapos nakakatatlong shot ako bago ako kainin sa puwet. Pero ang bilis na
Ay mo ngayon i-outrun ng ano eh. Saan?
Oo. Humble.
The mountain in manifestation.
Ayaw boy. Restart ka na nga. Restart boy, restart.
Nangyari boy. Napasok ka na?
Reset na?
Ha?
Reset mo na ba?
Ay, may ginawa ako eh. Yan na ba ngayon?
Hindi ko... Oo, hindi ko pumapasok. Hindi na ako makapasok. Basta ako nang-disconnect. Yun na, isa na sa mga rule. Kapag ikaw yung disconnect, di ka na makakapasok.
Nakainit ka na. Ken, disconnect na habang buhay. Hindi na pumapasok. Ito na. Loading. Wala lang. Na.
You mean mimosa?
Yo. Nangyari, ba't wala ka pa rin?
Ating pa.
Ang kalak ko. Ako rin makakunag. Coyote Tango, Scarlet, Griffin. Saan nga si Griffin? Mahina.
Sino ba?
Si Griffin.
Si Greten?
Griffin.
Griffin?
Oo, si Griffin.
Sino ba si Griffin?
Yung isa kong T-Rex dito. Yung asawa ni Scarlet. Asawa niyang mahina, level 10. Full star. Meron na ako rito T-Rex.
Yun, nagagamit ko na. Kaso stuck ako.
Meron ako rito T-Rex Trio.
Oo.
Ang gagabi na naman tuloy. Si Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge.
Oh my god, naggabi pa.
Oo, halos na yun, halos. Kompas. Walang kwenta, kompas. Walang kwenta tong drop, kompas.
Kailan level ba ng drop?
Blue. Walang kwenta. Walang kwenta. Kasi may Dodi Cruz dito. So, yung Banshee mo. Yung Tapihara mo.
Ano to si Rex?
Yes, ang box ko. Si Rex National Bookstore. Scarlet. What's up, Scarlet? Kasi yung Scarlet, kulirit pala ito. Kala ko duguan lang.
Yung Scarlet.
Yung T-Rex ko rito.
T-Rex?
Si Iron Man. Yung Raptor Boy. Iron Man.
No.
Si taas na level na ito ah.
Yan eh.
Mabubuy Itzy. Kasi tingin mo na yung... namatay nga pala yung Itzy natin. Namatay dun sa Ballena. Walang hiya.
Basement.
around the world. Joel even makes reference to pancake mix, what Sarah was going to make her dad on his birthday. Talk about dodging a bullet. On their way, Joel is unable to steer Ellie away from a series of unmarked graves. These are the bones of innocent families taken from the nearby town of Lincoln and shot to death. When there was no more room in the quarantine zones, these civilians were killed because dead people don't get infected. The game does not make mention of these roundups, rather stating,
See, some places got a heads up before the infection showed up. Most didn't.
There's this great transition of the clothing of a mother and child as we flash back 20 years to September 30th, 2003, roughly 4 days after the events we saw in Austin, Texas in episode 1. It's a bit ironic that we see the swaying of an American flag as these people lose their freedoms. As we'll see in town, Lincoln is under a mandatory evacuation where everyone must be shipped off. Similar signs can be seen in the game. It's also ironic that the town is named after a president who espoused freedom, yet everyone here is being shipped away against their will. Bill here has a hidden basement within a basement where he keeps a close watch of his property via security cameras.
My idea of a perfect government is one guy who sits in a small room at a desk, and the only thing he's allowed to decide is who to nuke.
He's a paranoid conspiracy theory prepper, or as he likes to call himself, a survivalist. It's funny that people who do this nowadays are considered a bit weird, but Ellie refers to Bill as a genius. The basement is Bill's armory, where he has a stash of weapons and supplies, including a workbench where we all know you can upgrade your weapons. Bill comes out wearing a gas mask, which he also wears the first time we see him in the game. I also love how his home has this sign that says, come in the evening, or come in the morning, come unexpected, or come without warning, which is just the complete opposite of who Bill is as a character. Unlike the town of Lincoln in the game, which is more densely populated, the show's Lincoln is more akin to a quaint rural suburb. Bill wastes no time stocking up on gasoline, collecting supplies, and of course gathering the most important thing, booze. He also has a knack for anything technical, being able to connect the gas pipeline to his place and operating this large generator. Of course, no town can be safe without the appropriate electrified fence, trap pits, and who can forget, flamethrowers. In fact, his nightly entertainment is watching as these traps kill an infected. He even says,
It doesn't get old.
as if this is a regular occurrence for him. We see Joel encounter several of Bill's traps in the game, and if you're curious what Bill's fence looks like in the game, here it is. As Bill finishes his setup, Cream's 1968 song White Room plays, and if you remember the smuggler's code found in Joel's apartment, a 60s song means there's nothing. And Bill does have nothing, or should I say, no one. He's all alone, which mimic the song's sad lyrics, I'll wait in this place where the sun never shines. This is all to change 4 years later with the introduction of Frank. In Bill's bunker, we get a quick shot of a Don't Tread on Me flag, also known as the Gadsden flag, often used as a symbol of distrust or defiance against authority and the government. When his alarm alerts him to one of his traps going off, we meet Frank, a man who is only seen dead in the game, and what's about to transpire between these two varies wildly from game to show. Frank was on his way to the Boston quarantine zone after the Baltimore QZ was completely destroyed. He started with 10 people, but now he's the only one left. Of course, Bill is distrustful. He has no idea who this guy is, and if he lets him go, he could tell others.
And every bum you talk to about it is going to show up here looking for a free lunch. And this is not an Arby's.
I'm so hungry I could eat it all.
Yari. Try mo umaga. Yung phone charger eh. Phone charger. Tapos ka na ba mag-mine, boy?
Hindi pa. Paano nag-mine? Makakala ko ng base.
Alam niya ka. Mag-mine ka na, boy. It's Uranus time. Uranus time na. Nakuha ka rin natin ng one of bosses ng ano. Uranus time na, boy.
Kaya ka lang. Kasing ko lang.
Ba, patapos ka na ba sa base mo? Laki naman kasi ng bahay mo.
May secret mission ako dyan eh.
Walang hiya ako.
Artwork nga eh, artwork.
Walang hiya ako. Nagawa ka ata ng pyramid eh. Nagawa ka ba ng Pyramid of Giza? Yan ka ba matutulog at mahihimlay kasama yung treasures?
Oh my god. Base.
Wala ko, nagmamain ka na eh. Vicarinos time na sa amin.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god, ano to?
Vicarinos time.
Daming shit. Dilim.
Vicarinos time.
In the game, we find a body of a dead smuggler who has a note that says your contact is a dude named Frank and that he wants into the Boston QZ. This dead guy here was waiting for Frank, but
And
Frank
he ran
never
out of-
showed up. I'll get into why that is in the game version in a
You
bit,
get a little
but
bit
something inside
crazy.
Bill compels him to take Frank in, and after a quick check to make sure he's not infected, using the same type of scanner Fedra uses no
And he
less,
ran out
he's
of-
treated to a hot shower and warm meal. We also get our first clue that Bill may be gay. He's a bit awkward, and this awkwardness may stem from his repressed sexuality. As he'll later tell Frank, he's never been with a man. The game simply refers to Bill and Frank as partners, but as we'll soon see, their relationship pans out quite differently in the show version. Check out Bill's house. It's filled with dust and antiques, drab colors, and old photos. It's of a world that used to be. Compare this to the house we see near the end of the episode with bright flowers, colors, paintings, and warmth. Frank has brought not only this change to Bill's home, but to Bill himself. Bill has prepared Rabbit, and every time I hear Rabbit with The Last of Us, I always think of...
That's the cutest fucking I've ever seen.
I got the sense here that Frank is kind of testing the waters here with Bill's sexuality, stating that he does indeed look like a man who knows what wine to pair with Rabbit.
I'm getting an extremely gay vibe.
Later, when Bill plays Linda Ronstadt's Long Time, coincidentally the name of this episode, he asks him who the girl in the song is he's talking about. There is no girl, because Bill is gay. They share a kiss, and Frank has to remind Bill that he hasn't even told him what his name is. Now, you may have also wondered if there's any significance to Bill's tattoos. Those are actually actor Nick Offerman's real tattoos, so I think it's a safe bet to say no. Now, Frank wants to say a few more days, and those few
1,
days
2,
turn into
3,
3
4,
years
5,
as we
6,
fast
7
forward
lang
to
po.
2010. Bill and Frank are in the
Tain
midst
ng
of a fight where stubborn Bill doesn't want Frank to use up their supplies to spruce up their surroundings. It's his street too, let him love it the way he wants to.
This is my street too. Just let me love it the way I want to.
This is the same
Okay.
line he says near the end of the episode.
And love me the way I want you to.
Part of sprucing up this town is to make it welcoming to friends, something Bill is extremely against. But it's Frank who pushes Bill out of his shell. He's even been secretly chatting with someone over the radio who will later find out is Tess. Yes, anything is possible in flashbacks as we get to see Anna Torv back again as Tess. In the game, Bill asks why Tess isn't with him, but Joel doesn't tell him that she's dead. We also get these little fun bits of information, like this paper written by Bill or Frank to collect more pills, and it mentions of a meetup with Tess. So it's clear there's this smuggler connection between these two parties. Over a quaint lunch where Joel has a gun constantly pointed at him, Tess, Frank, Bill, and Joel discuss the possibility of working together. Bill and Frank have supplies Joel and Tess need, and vice versa. Bill is still against this, saying that they're completely self-sufficient. But that isn't true. Joel notes that his fence will need to be replaced in the next year, and he could get Bill some aluminum spools that could last them a lifetime. Not to mention the QZ has access to books, medicine, medicine and machine parts. This medicine will actually come into play later on. According to the show's timeline, Tess and Joel are in Boston and working together by 2010. Their relationship status is also called into question when Joel can't seem to find the right words when referring to him and Tess. But as we'll see in the letter near the end of the episode, it's clear Bill and Frank knew what they were, or should I say, could be. In my episode 2 breakdown, I theorized from this line,
I never ask you for anything, not to feel the way I felt.
That Tess wanted more from Joel, but because he was so closed off, he could never commit to anything. In the Last of Us podcast, we learned that they even wrote a completely different intro for episode 2 in which we see what happened to Tess's family.
Tess had a kid. She had a husband and she had a son. They were infected. She killed her husband, but she could not kill the son.
Tess and Joel's relationship is also brought up by Bill in the game, where he says, as they leave Lincoln, it looks to me like Frank gives Tess a lavender top and some jeans. I wonder if it's the same shirt we'll see her wear in episodes 1 and 2. Joel also gives Bill a word of warning. Fedra and infected aren't what he should be worried about. It's these roaming bands of raiders who will come at night and make quick work of his fence and protections. Perhaps Joel doesn't know the full extent of Bill's defenses, as we'll later see raiders killed by flamethrowers and the fence's electricity. 3 years later, in 2013, Bill struggles to keep up with Frank.
I got something to show you.
You mean a penis?
Not that.
He surprised him with strawberries, yet another example of something so simple we take for granted nowadays. Bill tells him that he was never afraid until he showed up. That's because Bill now has something afraid of losing. That night, a band of raiders descend on the town. Frank searches for Bill and takes out a pistol from the dresser, the same pistol Ellie will later find and keep hidden from Joel. Bill is shot in a melee and Frank rushes him back to take care of his wound. Bill thinks he's a goner and tells Frank to call Joel. Even Bill sees Joel as this protector-type character. Fortunately, Bill survives, and the defense was strong enough to ward off the raiders. Fast forward 10 years to 2023, the same year the main events of the show take place. Frank needs a wheelchair to get around and is taken to painting. We'll see one which looks like a bowl of strawberries, and lots of paintings of carrots, which were the first crops Bill grew. This painting looks like the first half was painted when Frank still had his full motor function, while the other half looks as though he attempted painting it when he lost it. Unfortunately, this is one motor Bill can't fix. It's never explained in the show what illness Frank has, just that it was incurable even before the pandemic hit. So my best guess here is some form of cancer. We'll see him here in this yellow shirt, yellow, just like in episode 2, often used to convey sickness. Life for Frank is tough. He can only consume liquids and has to be helped everywhere he goes. So Frank asks Bill for one last good day.
Give me one good day.
It's a heart-wrenching sequence as we see the two enjoy their last day and perform their own wedding. Bill even makes him rabbit paired with the same wine they had the first day they met. The plan was to have Frank drink wine mixed with a lethal dose of medication, but unbeknownst to him, Bill has done the same with his. His entire life, Bill has had no purpose, but as he later tells Frank,
You were my purpose.
losing the one thing that has kept his life worth living was too much for Bill, so he makes the choice to join him. With only a few minutes before the pills kick in, Bill wheels Frank into the room at the end of the hall and locks the door. We'll see them slowly shift out of focus as their lives cut to black, just like it does in the show. We fast forward what is likely a few weeks after Bill and Frank's death. We know this from the rotting food and the fact that Bill's radio has defaulted to an 80s playlist, which is only supposed to happen if Bill hasn't reset the countdown, which he's supposed to do every few weeks. We also know 80s music equals trouble. We heard this chime on Joel's radio at the end of episode 1. Here we can see the Lincoln town sign and compare it to the one from the game. Joel knows the code to the front gate, likely because he'd been working with Bill and Frank for the past 13 years. The first sign that something is out of the ordinary are the dead flowers outside the home, and inside we can see these candles have burned to the bottom. It's not too long after Ellie finds the letter addressed to whomever, but probably Joel, and the crushed pill bag that they put 2 and 2 together. I found Bill's note to be a message of hope for Joel. Like Joel, Bill hated the world, but Bill found a person worth saving. He found his purpose in protecting them. If Joel can find that person, perhaps he too can find the peace and happiness that makes life worth living. Bill alludes that this person is Tess for Joel, and it's a bit tough to make out, but we can see the words, "and she decide you've recommend pairing, and the name of a wine. I got the feeling here that Bill had kind of set aside some wine if Tess and Joel would become a thing, which is even more tragic considering what happened to her last episode. Joel crumples up the letter similar to how Bill crumpled up Frank's letter in the game, and for the first time since losing his daughter, I got the feeling that maybe, just maybe, Joel might show some emotion, but he once again bottles it up. Bill has bequeathed to Joel his truck, which is the same blue Chevy found in the game, along with that any supplies he wants. But with Bill and Frank gone, what does Joel do with Ellie? In the game, the whole purpose of visiting Bill is not to dump Ellie off to him, but to get a car. In the game version, Bill owes Joel big time for a series of unknown reasons and favors. He has to see her bite mark one last time, still perhaps hesitant that she is legitimately immune. Then he devises a plan to travel out to Wyoming to see his brother Tommy. It's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. Joel's whole reason for taking on this mission was to get a battery to find his brother, but at the same time, Tommy is a former Firefly and may know where the supposed Firefly camp filled with doctors is. Remember that Marlene's plan was to have her squadron of Fireflies pick Ellie up at the Capitol building and take her to this secret camp. While waiting for the battery to charge, Ellie finds this palm tree shirt, which we see her wearing when we're first introduced to her in the game. And while Joel takes a shower, Ellie hides the gun she found in this desk, undoubtedly to play a role later in the season. In the truck, Ellie remarks when we're first introduced to her in the game. And while Joel takes a shower, Ellie hides the gun she found in this desk, undoubtedly to play a role later in the season. In the truck, Ellie remarks that it's her first time in one. She doesn't even know how to put on a seatbelt. She remarks that it's like a spaceship, perhaps foreshadowing the birthday present Joel gets her when he takes her to the museum in The Last of Us Part 2. Now there is a tape in this scene here, but it's a spaceship countdown, not like the tape Ellie finds in the glove compartment which states "Mix for Bill." Obviously a gift Frank gave Bill which contains the song they played the first time they met, Linda Ronstadt's Long Long Time. Its lyrics include "Love is full of loss, who knows the cost," as we dolly back to reveal the final shot of that open window open. While this ending is simultaneously beautiful and tragic, the same can't be said for the game's version, which takes a different approach to the tale of Bill and Frank. In the game, Joel and Ellie actually meet with Bill, with Joel even getting caught in one of his traps the first time we meet him. Bill and Frank were partners, but went their separate ways.
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. Partner. Somebody I had to look after. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Get you killed.
And it looks like Frank had enough of Bill, wanted to be smuggled into Boston, but was bit along the way. We'll later see him having hung himself rather than turn into one of the infected. Just like Joel received a letter, the game's version has one too, but it's not for Joel, it's for Bill. Consider it Frank's suicide note. It goes on to describe something that couldn't be further than the type of relationship Bill and Frank had in the show. In it, Frank states that he left town because he hated Bill's guts due to him being stuck in his ways. Frank wanted more to life and couldn't get it by staying there with him, so in the end, the risk of getting killed was better than spending one more day with Bill. The Bill segment of the game has this whole sequence which takes place at a runner-infested school. It's there we get our first glimpse of a bloater, something that's already been hinted at in the show. No word yet if this segment has been cut entirely or if we'll see it shifted around to a different episode. We know that this is possible considering the hotel lobby scene from episode 2 doesn't happen until later on in the game. Both versions, however, end relatively the same. Joel and Ellie leave Lincoln with a truck, but in the game version, Ellie knows how to drive one and they drop off Bill near the end of town. His fate in the game universe remains unclear, although you gotta hand it to the guy, he's a great gift giver, handing over a gas siphon to Joel as a parting gift. But now I hand it over to you. What did you think of this week's controversial episode? I want to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below.
Laspas. Ano matter? Hanap na ako ng char-char. Char-char. Ano ba akong pagkain dito? 5 na lang aking gas. 5 na lang ang gas ko. Amerika. Ano pa kayo gas pa? Support phone. Amerika. Junior supplies. Junior supplies.
God, may matay ako.
Bakit?
Sa uhaw.
Walang nga. Osa ba?
Ay, bilis. Hindi ba ako may
Char,
matay?
char.
My God, may ahas pa.
Long ways to die. So many long ways to die. You got 7 days to die. 7 days eh. Walang ending.
Alin?
Makeshift ending lang ginawa natin sa 7 days.
Wala naman kasing ending. Ito may ending to eh.
May T-Rex pa malapit sa base.
Patayin.
Kapag ka nandiyan pa rin siya, tatayin ko na lang. Yan.
Patayin. May T-Rex.
Oh my god, meron pa. Dito pa yung Albucarne. Nawala ni hype ko sa tech eh. Tech T-Rex. Kas. Nawala ni hype ko sa tech T-Rex. Pag marami na ako nakukuha, nawawala na. Yun na. Hindi na ganun ako ka-excited i-tame.
Normal na lang yun.
Normal na lang. She-Prime. Tontuwa ako eh. Nakakuha ako eh. Yung She-Prime. Si She-Prime. Kasi ano? Yung binigay ko sa'yo. Yung Striker Eureka ba yun?
Striker Eureka.
Oo.
Si Eureka Striker.
Yung gamit ng yun yung gamit ng mag-ama, di ba?
Oo.
Daming Bronto. Look at that. Another Spino. Another Spino, everybody. Another green Spino.
War of T-Rex.
Therizinosaur. Therizinosaur. Dumb boys to die. So many dumb boys to die.
War on T-Rex.
I can show you the wall. Pala nito kayo matak sa yan. I can show you.
Andiyan ba si Bucky, si Steve Rogers?
Hindi, wala.
Sa Vulcan?
Wala. Si...
Asan kaya siya?
Yung Silica Pearls.
Daming Silica Pearls dun. Para sa Quick Cell po.
Try mo mag-mine dito, boy, oh. Daming iron dito.
Layo naman yata yun.
Itong itong walang nag-i-spawn na dino.
Kailangan ko nga niya. Steve Rogers. Ano ba siya? Ay, napunta. Nakakainis.
Patay na ata si Steve Rogers.
Hindi rin makakatay.
Beaver down.
Hindi rin makakatay. Yan, check mo.
Wait lang. Takihin ako ng pot eh. Okay, kung ay time to. Time ko ba o?
Ang yung Steve Rogers. Naglaho na lang.
my god. Atake nila ako.
Sili ka pearls ko, Steve.
Atake nila ako, boy. Kuha ko ba yung cementing paste? Oh my god, nakuha ko. 146.
Kunin mo, tapos itapon mo ulit yung lahat ng laman.
Hindi ko pa nawawasak yung base sila.
Oo, itapon mo yung mga laman.
Sinabo ko yung laman.
Kinapon mo lahat? Para
Oo.
mawasak. Pag hindi nawasak, di mag-respawn yung dump.
Walang yan, kailangan po ko sa akin. Nahabol na nila ako.
Hindi, patayin mo sila. Dalawa naman na yata si America eh.
Hindi, naka-banshee ako. Nasa exploration na ako. Kaya ko ba to? Kaya to ni banshee.
Kaya naman siguro. Maliit lang.
Hindi naman nila ako reach.
Ay nako, sino si ano. Naiinis na ako. Ba't mo kung
my God,
kitang
nandun pa yung
sa
laman.
bato?
Flying
May
rare flower.
pascal, bukit na kayo.
Rare flower. Oh my god, di ko na nakuha. Malas ko naman.
Oh my god, naka Steve Roger din yata yung Char.
Laboy, patay ka na.
Oh my god.
Patay ka na, boy. Ano ba laman na
Naka
ito?
Steve Roger nga.
Silica pearls. May laman pala silica pearls.
Tapon mo yung mga wood. Lahat ng wood tapon.
Yang abatsawan ko. Patagal mo ko kaso.
Oh my.
Kaya pinte patagal na ka.
Nahulog ako sa tubig.
Paretang asong may pamilya.
Nahulog ako sa tubig.
Kanitang kilala. Indure mong masinta.
Yan po, beaver dam. Char boy. Visit na kaya ulit natin para mag-respawn yung Char.
Pwede naman. Kaso hindi pa ganun katagal eh. Mag-respawn din naman yun.
Respawn ba yun?
Oo.
Char. Alam yan. Panamaya. Tapos breed na lang natin.
Hindi yata nabibreed yun.
Hindi ba?
Oo.
Kailangan
Parang
lagi natin.
Titanosaur.
Lagi natin ng ano. Lakas ng loob din eh. Courage. Terrible.
Saan yung ano?
Paano po ang Char? On my way. Stay mo Char. Making my way downtown.
Making my way downtown. Walking fast.
Please say fast.
Miss you.
If I could find one Char. Ang Char lang.
Oh shit.
Ng Char. Mali lang pala siya itim eh. Hindi pala kung... Hindi.
Ano si Steve Rogers? Kaya naman, oh.
Soros. Soros boy. Wala. Soros lang nakita ko rito.
What's a threat? See the difference?
Oh, hulog ka Allosaurus. Sabi lang mountain. Love Jar.
Pupunta ka ba doon sa snow?
Oo, pupunta na ulit ako. Tignan ko muna doon sa dalawang mountain. Mas mataas ba spawn rate ng snow? Mas mataas ata spawn rate ng snow.
Where's that stupid rip-off gone? It's gone? Nawala pa, nakakainis. Saan ko ba yung nalagay? Naligaw lang ba yata yun sa base?
Hindi ko alam ko.
Naligaw sa base.
May pilos ng civilization dito. May lagoon pala rito. May lagoon dito, boy. Puro beach. May lag. Kaya dito ang ano.
Nangyari dito, nasa-stuck. Oh, damn!
Natin na i-explore pa man ah.
Len.
Ito, dalawang tropical Na ano dito
Tropic
sa...
Thunder?
Yung tropical land dito sa baba ng snow biome.
Oh my god. Fucked up. Oh my.
Ano na agro na ito mga to?
Oh mami. Mami.
Bakit? Oh my god. Wala ako nalungkat ang mataas. Nandito na yung Gitarinos.
Oh mamma mia. Oh mamma mia.
Gitarinos mo eh. Kaya asma.
Ano to Steve Roger?
Okay lang naman dito. Ano? Gitarinos mo eh. Oh my god. No.
Si Jane. Oh my god, dalawang ibon ko na yung nawawala.
Iniwan mo lang ata basta-basta. Iniwan mo lang ata basta-basta.
Ano?
Iniwan mo lang saan.
Ay ito, kita ko na si Jane.
Okay, Brothers. Yung Silica
Steve
Pearls.
Rogers.
Silica
Rogers
Pearls.
nasan to?
Silica
Dapat
Pearls.
kasi nakapassive lang kayo. Pilit ko kasi mag-neutral.
Silica Pearls.
Okay.
Silica Pearls. Silica Pearls.
Baka dito. Dito Jane. Okay, Lentino.
Come on, nasaan na? Namin Char. Ano ba yan?
Piling ko dito lang si
Char.
Steve Rogers.
Char boy.
Steve Rogers. Saan ka na?
Ilang araw na ako nag-stay off.
Ano yun?
Ilang araw na. Ilang araw lang sa game. Ilang araw na ako sa game mag-stay off.
Oh my god, may itim na pa Razer.
Ano?
Itim na pa Razer.
Ano pa Razer?
Yung silinlin.
Pina-farm
Ay,
ko
mga
lang.
to.
Pina-farm ko lang yun. Pang XP.
Kulay black to eh, kulay black.
Oh my god. Ito rin isa naman. Ito naman yung jet plan na yun. Elgato. Sa kabilang mountain. Ito wala pa rin.
Oh my god, may ahas.
Ito wala pa rin.
Oh god.
Ayan. Mabait naman nata itong mamods eh. Ano pa lang ako sa ulo. Bait na mamod.
Wala, nalaglag pa ako. Tumakbo, please. May tilo pa dyan. My God, ang layo na ng tinakbo niya.
Okay. Ito rin charger.
Panig ka dun!
Ito rin charger board.
Galit na ba siya ulit?
Laboy, mabalik na ako. Mission failed.
Oh no, natanggal sa tubig.
Get it next time. Mission failed, boy. Mission failed. We'll get it next time.
Namatay pa yata yung paracer ko.
Paracer.
Paracer?
Ano paracer?
Si Rinlin. Kauri nilin. Paracer. Ganda to eh. Pwede mong gawan din ang sa likod eh.
Hindi. Diba Bronto? Yung Bronto mo mas maganda sa Bronto.
Ha?
Mas maganda. Hindi kasi tumatakbo.
Yung Bronto, bagal yung Bronto. Pero mas malaki yung mabibuild mo sa likod ng Bronto. I-build ko nga yung bahay ko sa likod ng Bronto eh.
Matay lang yung Bronto. Matay yung Bronto. Magbe-wait ako ng ano. Mag-a-agro ko ng isang Alpha T-Rex. Kamasa sa Bronto mo.
Hindi ka nga makalapit sa Alpha T-Rex. Ang bilis kaya nun. Nakalapit ka na ba sa Alpha T-Rex?
Oo, pero hindi gano'ng kalapit yung na-agro.
Bilis nun eh.
Bilis ba yun?
Oo. Sobrang bilis. Hindi ka talaga makatakbo. Kahit yung ibon mo hindi makatakbo.
What?
Kung hindi nakakataas ng lipad yung ibon mo, patay ka dun sa Alpha T-Rex. Try mo lumapit minsan. Pakita mo kung gaano kabilis. Bilis to.
Try ko nga. Toasted na yan ako. Fumes.
Yung ma-outrun.
Try ko nga. Kaya nilalabanan mo nilang head on. Nilalabanan mo nilang head on.
Hindi kita maintindihan.
Nilalabanan mo ng head on.
Headphone?
Head on.
Ah, hindi. Kailangan magdalang tatlong T-Rex o kaya dalawa. Pag isang T-Rex lang, matatalo.
May T-Rex na naman. Ay, Allosaurus pa rin. Allosaurus na naman. Hindi ko na kayo name. Kailangan ko ng char-char. Char-char.
Char-char. Charizard. May blue na pala ka.
Char-char ba din?
Hindi, pala ka.
T-Rex lang. T-Rex lang. Disappointed.
Oh my god!
Kaya nga daw
May
sa
pirana.
pool.
Teka lang, may tinitay mo pa. Yung makawala yung tinitay mo.
Ay, natin mo. Masulungin.
Oh my god, may baryonyx pa.
Tapusan mo na.
Tapos di pa ako makasakay.
Tapusan mo
May
na.
pirana.
Tatapusan mo na.
Uy, Jane.
Tatapusan mo na. Tatapusan mo na. Tatapusan mo na. Yun. Grabe, kumikinang sobrang kinang niya, no? Ni bleeding edge. Yung ano kong, pangalawa kong ano, Mighty McQueen. Si bleeding edge.
Oh god.
Iron Man. Ano bakit? Oh, wala ko, atakin ako. Ano ah? Kalimutan ko pet ng ano. Double. 146 lang na cementing paste.
Dami yan.
Dami!
What the hell?
Teka lang.
In the search of a mystery. Time to be me. Oh. Deja vu. Five. Ako. Let me out. What the hell?
Yo. Saka ka? Matay mo pa rin si Lindy.
Tama ko.
Matay mo pa si Lindy.
Hindi pa siya. 50%. Trap, ay nahimatay ako. Tinaklaw ako ng walang iya. Matay pa ako. Hindi ko naman patay siya.
Saan ka ba? Saan ka ba? Swamp? Saan swamp ka? Swamp ka ba?
Ano?
Swamp?
Swamp. Swamp siya. Dito ako sa may vice.
Saan mo tinukla na ahas?
Ha?
Saan mo tinukla?
70%. Sino?
Ikaw, di ba tinuklaw ka ng ahas?
Oo. Sige, nagising na.
Majestic. Si long neck. Kala mo, statue.
Ayan. Nalalaglag nga siya eh.
Bakit?
May atlas ako eh. Nababa yung paa.
Wala.
Atlas ko nga. Ito, hindi ko mahanap.
Tama mo lagi na saddle eh, para matas mo. Saan ba si Phoebe?
Sa ilalim.
Alam yan, ang pamuno ng civilization, naging fossil na.
Fossil na siya, fossil.
Alam yan. Ano ako kakapunta rito?
May maliit na lagusan. Yan sa may hagdan.
Ay, saan ba? Ako, bakit half lang?
Ano?
Half lang.
Anong half lang?
Uy, nakalak! Kalak, ay ito. Kala ko, natrap na ako sa bahay mo. Kalak yung behemoth gate eh.
Hindi ka mo binubuksan eh.
Ito ba si Kenneth? Ah, si Kenneth. Ay, sa
Sa underground nga.
ah, ito.
Sa underground.
Eternal light. Kuhanin natin lahat ang gamit niya. Oh.
Tiran mo naman siya.
Ayoko na. Hindi na ata ito babalik sa game.
Balik mo yan. Hindi na busy. Oh.
Hindi ko, hindi na siya babalik eh. Maabutan niya na lang yung next map. Nagulat siya. Fossil na siya. Okay. Build nga ako ng ano rito. Ay, hindi pala makapag.
Build na.
Gusto ko harangan ng ano eh, hinday na eh. Ano eh, tsaka na pag nag-gising kasi harangan ko bigla.
Haranga?
Harangan ko. Yung butas.
Hindi mo nga mabuildan eh. Hindi ko mabuildan.
Uy? Legit na butas talaga yun?
Oo, butas talaga. Hindi ko malagyan ng takip eh. Takipan ko nga sana eh.
Yung sa aking pretzel.
Inaboy 91%. Nade-reset mo na yung server.
Oh, sagana pa gatang char-char. Gulat na lang si Ken sa ating progress, maiingit siya, hindi na siya nagiging busy ulit.
Busy pa rin yan.
Busy pa eh. Kasira talaga ng paglalaro yun.
Naging busy pa rin yun.
Scorpion, Sub-Zero, saka si Raiden.
Deja vu. Yun na, 98 pa yun na. Tame na.
Burko Patsang. Reset ba natin o parang wala lang din pag nag-reset?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay. Okay, sunog. Okay. Okay. Ano bang wood yung ano? Deja vu, coming in this place before. In the street, loving you. Wooden cage, wooden spike wall.
Oh my god, ano yun?
Okay. Nakalimutan ko ilagay yung aking nakuhang resources. Saan na ba si ano? Saan na si ano? Donald Trump.
Donald.
Si Donald Trump.
Ito lang kung saan damakmak na meat.
Lagi ko lahat sa Smithy ah.
Yung?
Yung mga nakuha kong ano, silica pearls.
Oo. May nakuha ka ba ngayon?
Oo, 23. Touch. Bye. Touch.
Reset mo na ba yung server?
Wait lang. Wala ko lang. Ginabuild na ako sa game. Yung makunlaba. Rose. Sapat na kaya ito.
Poppy, 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 poppy love.
So, sino yung aking personal car? Personal car ko po siya.
Na naman.
Si Donald Trump. Si Michelle pala to. Hindi, si Donald pala to. Si Donald Trump. Si Donald Trump. Ano ba? Ay, si Michelle na. Basta. May reset ka na. Hindi ko lang mabilis.
Iyon lang ako.
Ano ulit yung code? Kalimutan ka na. Yo, diyan ka. Anong code?
Yo.
Tama ba? Destroy wild dinos?
Oo. Hindi mo na pala kailangan i-reset yung server. Mag-aantay ka lang ng mga 2 to 3 minutes para mag-respawn sila ulit. Destroy wild dinos. Enable cheats ka na ba?
No. Lahat yun, ano? Small cap. Lahat yung small cap, di ba?
Ano?
Lahat yung small letter.
Oo.
Nag-reset na.
Matay na? Matay ba lahat?
Hindi ko sure. Hindi ko lang sa Perana eh. May Perana ulit dito sa ano.
Hindi naman yan yung basihan.
Hindi, kasi kung nasan yung amphibian ko, ubos na eh. I mean, madali maubos yung Perana doon kasi yung aking amphibian squad.
In-enter mo na ba?
Oo. Ano po, wala na dapat. Pa 2 to 3 minutes eh ba?
Oo. Siyempre mag-respawn pa sila eh.
Yan na, meron na. May Pirana na ulit eh. Select Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
On the slowest violin, on the smallest violin. Somebody stop.
Somebody.
Smallest violin. The world's smallest violin. Violin.
Ito. Si Pante yun. Wala na. Wala talagang babalikan si Genek dito.
Kahit ang liit ng iba kong ano. Ibang T-Rex mukhang malaki.
Bakit po yung T-Rex mo?
Oo.
Bakit naman? Parang sarang sa lang sa isang T-Rex ah.
Parang pandak yung akin.
Matagal ka na kasi hindi nakakita ng T-Rex. Tagal na wala nung nag-tame ka eh. Kung adik ka sa T-Rex, nakuha mo lang yung Char-Char, hindi ka nag-tame ng T-Rex eh.
Hindi na talaga ako nag-tame.
Tawa na rin ako, dami ka ng T-Rex. Dami ka ng T-Rex.
Ito na po itataling ko dyan yung tip na paracer.
Nasaan na yan ah? Gusto ko na makita yung Char-Char.
Kaya nga, si Steve Rogers kasi. Kailangan ng Silica Plus.
Ano ba gagawa?
Ha? Oo, legit. Di ko siya mahanap. Kaya nga, tulungan mo ko. Nasa kanya pa yung Char-Char. Alam ko, nasa kanya yung... Wala.
Galing na akong Redwoods.
Ginalugan mo na ba? Every inch?
Ay, hindi. Walang iya. Mamatay ako dun sa loob. Hindi mo pinukunt yung ano lang. Yung mayroong malapit-lapit na pinupuntahan ko. Pati nga doon sa volcano, hindi ko makita eh.
Backtrack ka, oo.
Nandun yung Silica Pearls, tsaka yung Char Char.
Backtrack ka mula nung kinuha mo yung Silica Pearls sa kapunta.
Mga matanda.
Wala. Kaya di yung mahanap eh. Hindi nakatandaan ko sa kapunta.
Nakapasive kasi. Ay, naka-web pa. Dapat pinapakasive lang ito mga.
Oh, may beaver dam agad. Beaver dam. May beaver dam ba? May beaver pero walang beaver dam. May beaver dam yun ah. Napatay ko yung beaver.
Nobody, yeah. Ini-spam, di ba ano na nga sa akin eh. Yung Beagle. I-spam ko na nga yung come here. Pag natahanak ko saan.
Wala. Wala naman yung beaver dam. Ay, ito may beaver dam. Ay, ko muna yung beaver.
Tapon mo yung laman mga hindi mo kunin para mawasak.
Dalawa sila lagi, no? Dalawa.
Oo, dalawa pa lagi. Tapos lagi mo dapat tatapon para mag-respawn. Hindi mo tinapon yung laman ng beaver dam. Hindi mo mag-respawn yung beaver dam.
Lang. Isa na isang beaver. Bahala na.
Manta saddle? What the hell? Ano yung manta? Skypiea ba to? Mantra?
Ito, may sagala. Wala na isang beaver. Natakot.
Terror first dito.
Wala akong spy yun. Materials. Pero solid ako. Dami. Okay, pa na dito. Nasa fabricator yung iba.
Oo.
Tignan ko may charger na. Check ko lang. Water guns.
Hindi makita.
Boom. On my way. Aim a charger.
Yeah. Ano siya napulita?
Basta ba?
Dito sa swamp. Isang killer kang swamp, diba?
Ay, killer kong swamp.
Oo. Dinala ko dito ng terror bird eh. Wala.
Lahat na lang nawawala sa'yo. Yung Baryonyx mo, nandiyan pa eh. Isang marionettes.
Kalimutan ko ang tinayin ko yan.
Isa ko nga rin karne, may madami yung karne dito sa Vulcan.
Ano yung terror bird?
Ha? Magpakomit ka na lang? May pamasahe ka ba dyan? Wala. Ako wala. Nagsako lang binigay niya? Ha? May bariya ba?
Punta ba ako kay Deeper
Ha?
Punta ba ako kay Deeper
Oo, anong oras yun? Alas 6 yun. Malapit lang sila doon. Magta-taxi naman yung gano'n. May baka may sasakyan sila.
Wala.
Pwede mo naman sila, dito yun. Pero mag-message ka bago ka mag-message. Sinabi mo ba ng 6? Kita mo ako.
Alam boy. Natala ako sa Vulcan, tas kaya naman.
Okay.
Ako lang to sa Vulcan. Balik ako yung Char. Wala sa akin yung Char. Okay ka na ba? Punta ka na sa safe place.
Oo, punta ako sa main base.
Okay.
Dito sa front. Steam loader. Ang ko yung nalagay.
Sabi mo, pag okay ka nandito na ako sa base. Wala. Server.
Ipegyo lang yung dito. Kakainis.